Ever since this whole Vlog L debacle, there's been a lot of discussion about what determines theft and piracy versus what's just a company's mistake and kind of what they deserve or what they get for doing something stupid or not covering all their bases. And I thought I'd just share a few of my thoughts on this because it is a complicated issue. Obviously, in any situation when a company is investing time, energy, and resources in developing a feature or a product or software or firmware, whatever it might be, it's time, it's money, it's effort that they're investing that if consumers get a hold of or they take advantage of, they essentially are stealing. They are reaping the benefit of someone else's investment and not paying anything for it. Now, oftentimes companies will just give things away for free as an act of goodwill and to generate kind of good feelings within their consumer base. And I am all for that. I think that's probably one of the best things companies can do is make their customers happy and feel good about their brand and their products and their services. On the other side of things, I think there are a lot of times in this modern age where things are really complicated and software is tricky to develop and you need special coders and there's all these things that can go missing. And in a case with Vlog L, where it was a simple, it's not even a workaround, it's not even a hack, it's not even a leak. Like I don't even know how to describe it because essentially it was just taking advantage of Panasonic's own software. It was using Panasonic's own app that they released in conjunction with their own firmware and their own camera. So when people do take advantage of a situation like that, I don't think you can blame them and say, shame on you for doing something that really was no different than just activating the feature on its own. The only difference is they didn't pay the $99 for it. It's tricky. It is a complicated issue, but I don't think you can blame the people who did it because it's not like they did anything malicious other than they just wanted to get a hold of something that they thought was really cool. And if anything, that's a good sign for Panasonic in this particular case because you have a fan base who desperately wants to try out the product and is an avid, rabid fan base who wants to try this stuff out. And there was just a way for them to do it. Like, why wouldn't they? And I know a lot of people got really self-righteous about it. Like, I'm not going to do it because I paid for it. And, even a lot of the blogs that were out there talking about it were talking about it in a way like, oh, I hope Panasonic gets this cleared up and, does right by the customers who paid. And, it's just kind of like, they got a little bit of pie on their face, wipe it off, take the dose of humility, eat the humble pie, and let's all laugh about it and get over it. I don't think we need to go pointing fingers at in either case. Panasonic, they made a stupid mistake. Someone somewhere missed it. Probably multiple people in multiple departments probably missed this little issue because they probably weren't thinking about the Panasonic image app in the first place. I mean, it even took a while for people to figure it out because not a lot of people use that app. So it's like, just get over it. Let's laugh it off. Let's move on. But it does bring up this issue of, okay, what is stealing? Did these people steal when they did it? And I don't think they did. A lot of people say, well, if, a bank forgot to lock their doors and someone went in and took all the money, is that not stealing? And well, yes, obviously that is stealing. But if someone showed up with a package delivered to your door, gave it to you, and you took it inside and opened it, and all of a sudden they showed up and said, oh, no, you've got to pay $99 to open that package. You'd be like, well, then why did you give it to me? Well, I didn't ask for this. I didn't tell you to show up. Everyone who downloaded version 2.3 firmware essentially has Vlog L. So it was given to them. They have it. All they have to do is pay $99 to unlock it, which I also think is kind of unfortunate that they went that route because when you look at the age we live in, okay, Netflix streaming movies, you pay $10 a month and you can stream whatever you want, whenever you want. You've got music streaming services like Pandora and Spotify and almost all the software out there on like the App Store, whether it's iPhone or Android, all of that software, most of it is free when it's providing you a service and companies are taking your information or your data or whatever. That's how they're benefiting from it. But almost all software is going free. You look at DaVinci Resolve. They essentially had a really, really expensive product that they said, we're going to make this free to get users hooked, essentially. You look at what Microsoft has done with Windows and what Apple is doing with their OS, giving it away for free to get people on board, to get them into the system, to sell computers, whatever it might be. iPhone software usually is free, because they want you to get it so you buy the next hardware piece that comes out. And I think that's really the key takeaway, is that a lot of these companies need to learn is that the software is meant to sell the hardware, right? The camera, the one I'm using right now, the GH4, very expensive camera. Well, not very expensive. It's actually pretty cheap relative to everything else, but still, at least $1,000, right? Even if you more than 1,000 if you're not buying used. Expensive piece of hardware. The GH5, definitely going to be expensive. But Panasonic, what they need to do is invest in the software side of things, make the software so compelling that people go out and buy the hardware. And when you do that and you create that nice ecosystem, you can sell more because you made a product that's so good, because now everything is software, everything's digital. The hardware is just a box to contain it all. The software is what matters, and the way you're doing the encoding and all the other frame rates and the bit rates and all that stuff that people love and get really excited about, that's what matters. When you say, I'm going to sell you this hardware so that you can then go buy more software, I think that people totally reject that, and you will upset customers, and in the long term, you'll gain less customers than if you did it the inverse way, where you develop the software in order to sell the hardware. I think that's the smartest, best approach. And, I'm sure there are other people out there who would totally disagree with me, but if you look at the current marketplace, that's where everything is going. Software that's available for free that sells hardware. So Panasonic, Canon, Sony, Nikon, Samsung, Olympus, giving us these features via firmware updates for free makes us happier with the hardware, and we're more likely to go buy the next generation because we know that you're going to do right by us. I mean, this $99 vlog thing, I said it in the other video I made, and a lot of people kind of thought that I was blaming Panasonic or whatever. No, I totally get it. I understand why they want to charge for it. But when you're talking about $99, isn't it kind of worth it to a company just to give it away for free so that they make their customers happy and more likely to go buy a GH5 or another GH4, especially with the issues that people now are seeing with Vlog L? It just is one of those things, like, give it to them for free. Give the software side of things, it's like an investment, right, in your customers. Invest that money in your customers to make them go out and more likely to buy the next generation of hardware. So is it stealing? I'm sure there's a legal argument where someone could say, yes, they are stealing, but I don't, on an ethical, moral level, people do far worse with their computers and stuff than what people did with the GH4 and Vlog L. So I don't think you can blame them. Panasonic should just, laugh it off. It's kind of funny. It's not that big of a deal. So, and then people, they fix the issue, so people can still go buy it if they want. At this point, it's just a funny thing that happened, and oh well. Better luck next time.